Okay, I think that video was broken, but regardless, hello and welcome. My name is Dragon Drop. I'll be bringing you this game here between Lemondogs and the Yellow Submarine in the Join Dota League Season 6. And for the first time ever, I'm joined by someone who should be no stranger to you in the casting scene here, at least in the Dota scene, in the Dota world. It is Hippie. Welcome, man.
Hi, man. Appreciate you bringing me on. Always looking for more wonderful Dota to cast, and this should be a fabulous matchup. Yellow Submarine shocked everybody with how well they did in the qualifiers. Lemondogs have big names. I see no way this isn't going to be entertaining.
Absolutely, I would definitely agree, especially if you're looking at the standings here in the group stage. It is Division Europe 2.3. This is actually the last match for the Lemondogs here in the season, and right now they're sitting on 7th place here with 7 and 9. Not the best record here, and right now if they stick to that spot, they will end up in the Division 2 and 3 playoffs. So with a win here, they could make that a little bit easier on themselves and possibly get a straight ticket to Division 2. Yellow Submarine, on the other hand, they are sitting on 12 games with a 9 and 3 record, so they have 6 more games to play. 2 of which here are right now up against Lemondogs, so they still have a decent shot at even making the top place here in the 1, 2, 3 spots. That may or may not end up granting them a ticket even to the Pro League. I'm not quite sure what the format is in the next season there. Of course, if you're not familiar with the Pro League, where the hell have you been? Head on over to joindota.com and check that out there. The finals are actually coming up this weekend live from Austin, Texas, so definitely worth checking out. But yeah, the draft's actually going quite fast already here with some bans on the Wisp and the Leshrac, and the Darkseer actually banned out first on the side of Lemondogs. Maybe the most peculiar of the first bans, would you agree?
I think it's definitely a little bit out of the ordinary. We have been seeing more Darkseer, especially throughout the qualifiers, than we were previously, but I'm still not sure he's first phase ban worthy. The Skywrath Mage is also stand out as kind of an odd first phase pick. It's not often that you see him either picked or banned out before the second phase, so that's a little weird to me too. Maybe just trying to hide a strat over on Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Skywrath Mage is a bad hero, not by a long shot. I mean, he works well with a number of lineups. It's always nice to have that silence available to you, especially up against some high mobility heroes like the Queen of Pain. But normally, you don't pick him up as a first hero, because he's probably not going to be banned out, and sometimes it gets picked up by the other team, but then again, other supports like Vengeful Spirit, Lion, these kind of heroes have priority even then, so we'll see what the Yellow Submarine wants to do with that, if they want to maybe even pick up a Clockwork, put the Beastmaster mid, but with Nyx Assassin now as well, it becomes more and more unlikely. A little bit of an interesting draft for sure coming from them, so... And some open lanes as well, I would say, with the Beastmaster and the Nyx Assassin. Both can offlane, both can mid in certain circumstances as well.
Yeah, Nyx can even get away with playing support, so we can't even be 100% sure. I would say the Beastmaster probably not going to go mid, just because we're probably going to have a Queen of Pain mid, and she'll generally destroy the Beastmaster so badly, just thanks to Shadow Strike. So maybe not that big of an option, but they could always get away with some kind of dual mid or something, or just having a support roam around to harass the Quap out if they really feel like they need to pick a different offlaner.
Yeah. On the other hand, you can just put Lina mid here. Yet another one of these heroes that can actually do quite well up against the Queen of Pain, just because of the high range of your attacks and the good harassment that you get from Dragonslave as well. But if you want to get fancy, you can even put the Nyx Assassin up against the Queen of Pain, defend yourself a little bit with that Spike Carapace, and be very annoying with the with that mana burn, but maybe not the best choice here if you already got your hands on Lina as well.
10 seconds to go.
Quite interesting. But yeah, let's talk about Lemondogs a little bit. I mean, Queen of Pain is the first kind of pick. It's kind of standard, stock standard here nowadays in the current meta. Clockwork as well as their offlane choice most likely, which would put the Bristleback in that one position. And they also got the Shadow Demon, which has come into popularity a little bit more here after the qualifiers as well, I would say. Normally in conjunction with some sort of combination, though, with the Leshrac, with the Lina. How do you feel about the Shadow Demon without that wombo combo potential when it comes to supports?
I think he also brings you, obviously, that really strong defensive potential. So, especially against the Skywrath Mage ultimate, I think it's really, really helpful. Or if somebody gets Primal Roared, being able to just disrupt them out of that. There's so much, easy stun over on the side of Yellow Submarine that I think having the disruption available, even not as the setup, but just to say, oh, you know, you initiated on our carry, well, that's a shame, Shadow Demon's right there. I guess you're not getting anything out of that Beastmaster ultimate you just spent.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point, of course, that a lot of teams bank on that, but then again, depending on how aggressive Yellow Submarine wants to play it in the early game, I mean, we've yet to see how they actually want to shape up their lineups, whether there'll be a mid laner, which I personally expect right now, or if they want to pick up another support hero with a stun for the Scarif Mage, or if Nyx Assassin will be that.
10 seconds to go.
That can make up a pretty decent roaming combination at some point. I mean, Disruption is good, yes, but depending on the secondary support, for example, if they pick up a Witch Doctor or Dazzle like
Reserve time.
now for Lemondogs, it might not be enough to actually get them through the early game. I mean, sure, you might not lose heroes, but you might just get a still harassed out of the lane, even as a Bristleback early on.
I mean, you could, is Dazzle banned? Dazzle's not banned. SD Dazzle isn't bad. I mean, just disrupt someone in the middle of the creep wave, you get the extra 2 illusions to bounce stuff off of. It's the extra kind of defensive support setup for the Bristleback. Obviously, he loves defensive supports because the longer he's around, the more he just destroys the entire team. It's nice for the clockwork, so his initiations aren't suicide. It's nice for the Quap. You can shell a Grave her to kind of wait for the, like, whatever silence maybe the Skywrath made so she can get the blink out. I think a Dazzle would actually be really nice here. And it makes the Shadow Demon more offensive just because he exists. Yeah. Because, you know. So, and also, of course, the plenty of physical damage from the Quills.
Radiant's pick.
Man, now I really want it.
Yeah, I would agree. Dazzle wouldn't actually be the worst. I mean, together with the Shadow Demon, as I said, having is one of these combinations that's maybe not the most obvious to everyone, but the Shadow Wave does work well with the Disruption Illusions. And you are going to get mileage out of that weave, not with the defensive part so much, since Yellow Submarine don't have too much physical damage unless we see the Invoker go for Quasar Sword. And Lina, of course, as well, can get some quite high physical DPS, thanks to their Fiery Soul. But yeah, they're gonna go with the Chen instead, so another one of these a little bit more greedy, a little bit more defensive supports in the mid game as well, though. But more pushing oriented, and that's something that Lemondogs have been lacking until this point.
I think whether or not that Chen is really successful depends wholly on how active the Nyx and the Skywrath are. So I mean, I'm fairly sure. I don't know the Yellow. I don't remember exactly who plays where for Yellow Submarine, but Nyx Skywrath seems like the obvious support pair to me. Get a Corlina just so you have more in the late game.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm just thinking that the Chen can do really well if he's left alone. He can definitely help the Quap dominate the mid lane if he's left alone. If he gets a Chain Lightning creep or a Tornado creep, obviously he does some really serious work for her there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but it just comes down to that Bristleback can definitely be roamed on very, very early, even though they'll probably win the lane pretty hard if they send the Beastmaster down there. I don't know, or do they want to even... I don't know what they want to do. Maybe they want to aggressive tri-lane on Yes, just because they can crush the 3v2.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they kept the draft open, pretty much open to the very end, and looks like it's gonna be a mid laner, just judging by the item build right now. And offlane Nyx.
So is that a support Beastmaster?
Yeah, jungling / support Beastmaster. I haven't actually seen that in a while, but I think I have seen it before. I can't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, maybe just wanting to use that boar to advantage in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, the boar is really, really frustrating for the average offlaner to deal with, because it means that if you go up close enough, obviously, to get hit by the boar, suddenly you're incredibly vulnerable to counterplay, just because of how very, very slow he makes you. So Clockwork, who usually likes to play kind of close up, and then when people are about to go on him, he gets cogged out. Obviously, if the boar can be hitting him through the cogs, which he'll get a couple of swings off, it might give people time to kind of catch up to him a little bit, even though he's trying to bail out of the cogs. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not sure it's going to be really impressive, because I would have liked them to have the Roar really early, but if you get the really early Vendetta, obviously it's a really big threat for the Chen.
The game is on.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't look like we're going to see any early engagements here around the Bounty Ruins. They trade evenly here. E-skill on the side of Lemondogs, picking up that on the bottom rune spot. Yeah, with that, let's take a quick look at the lineups before the action starts here. Of course, starting with E-skills on the Queen of Pain out of mid. We've got the Chen, played by Steph Style. In the bottom lane, we've got the one position Bristleback, played by Krilly. Frigoli is going to be standing in and supporting him on the Shadow Demon, which leaves that offlane all to Ares Loco on the Clockwork.
And over on the side of Yellow Submarine, PSM will be playing the support Skywrath Mage, Miposhka, the safe lane Invoker. Our support Beastmaster looks like he's going to be doing pulls, will be by Fervian. The Lina will be played by Barash in the mid lane, and the offlane Nyx will be Dale.
Denied.
Alright, so this mid lane matchup, as I hinted at in the drafts, kind of one of the more easier ones, or more stable ones for the side of Yes that it could have taken. Of course, you don't really want to put a Beastmaster or even Nyx Assassin up against Queen of Pain, just because of that range disadvantage. And yeah, with Lina, with that insane attack range that she got, it's actually it's actually the Queen of Pain that has a range disadvantage. So the other option would have been to put the Invoker there. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think the Lina is actually the best choice, or would the Invoker benefit from that extra experience? I mean, the supports are doing the pulling and stacking here, of course, but they're still sticking relatively close to the lane, leeching bit off of that too.
Yeah, I think if the supports are careful about not leeching too much from the Invoker, like kind of just getting what they need, he'll still be fine. The easy free farm he'll get means he can go for a very early Midas, which will help him catch up very nicely off those big jungle creeps. I think the Lina is definitely a little bit better than the Invoker for this matchup, because, especially since he's gone Exhort, it's kind of hard to stop the Queen of Pain if she wants to kill you at like level 4 or 5 or so. Now, I will say that you can see the Queen of Pain has actually skipped Shadow Strike against the Lina. Oh, she wants to go in, though. Gets the
going
Scream
deep
of Pain.
here. Barash taking a lot of damage also from the Tornado. E-Skills needs a couple more right clicks here. Doesn't have another blink, though. And that'll be that. Barash, though, very low on health and doesn't quite have the bottle just yet. Only now getting enough money here with a gold over time and a couple of right clicks, but only walking courier here that Mushroom's gonna have to walk quite a ways. And Barash will miss out on the creep wave's worth of experience here. I mean, ESM is gonna come in to take some of that and make sure the Queen of Pain doesn't go for a kill.
Yeah, well, really, really nice LSA from Barash. If he hadn't hit that stun, I think he dies. He was only 1 or 2 right clicks away. So, very, very good of him to catch that quickly. And that's one of the reasons it can be a little frustrating. I mean, I was mentioning that the Quap skipped Shadow Strike, not only because she's going to be out of range a lot of the time, she has to take several auto attacks from Lina, but because
Dale might be in trouble. He takes a lot of damage here. 4 Quill Sway stacks, and that's actually the first blood. Wow. I was contemplating whether to interrupt you a little bit earlier here as this was going on, but then I was
you can always interrupt me for kills, man. No problem.
But yeah, that was actually that's early points into Whiskey's Nasal Goo, I think, was actually what did it there. Getting slow and that extra physical damage. I mean, Quill Sprays are good, but can't really remember them being that good, especially here with the Spike Carapace coming into play, which Dale is focusing on right now.
Yeah, and especially on a very high armor offlaner like Nyx, he's sitting at that 5 armor, so obviously you're not going to get a ton done just without any sort of armor reduction, but I mean, I think Goo is fantastic, especially so the Shadow Demon lets you get in range to start setting everything up, right? And then Goo is just keeping you stuck in there. You can clean up the creep wave at the end of the disruption if you want to, but just now the Bristleback's on top of you, now you're slowed down, and you're just done. I mean, what else are you going to do about it? It's a very, very dangerous combo, I feel like, if they don't rotate anyone to help Dale.
Speaking of rotation here, Frigoli and Staffstall, they're both smoked up. That has not been revealed by the Nyx Assassin. Went for the bottom rune. Arash now looking for that bounty top. Might get caught out though. They are on the high ground here. Barash, couple disruption, follow-up stun from the centaur is available. Queen of Pain, E-Skills comes in to try and claim this ball. It sounds up though. So Staffstall will just be taking the kill instead. And PSM should be alright. No more disruptions or slows. But Bristleback gets solo kill down there? What happened there?
He used the stick. He used the stick. That must have been it. Dale probably got a little overconfident, and then you can see the stick on cooldown right there.
Yeah.
So he probably had a lot of stick charges that he used to save himself at the 60 life he's at right now. I bet you... I mean, you can't really blame an offlaner for going for a high-risk kill on a solo carry.
Yeah, if he had gotten
it's
that,
so big if you can get it.
Yeah, it was... Oh, wow! Hello! Well, it's also good if your Invoker gets that from across the freaking map.
Ward.
That value ward. It's about to time out in a minute as well.
Yeah, which actually means you can see actually the Shadow Demon just bought counter wards to counter it. So he's gonna get the 50 gold return obviously, but he's not denying them much vision because it's under a minute.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good snipe. Kind of making it a little bit more worth it. I mean, It's of course it's great if your offlaner can pick that up. It's gonna jumpstart his game here. Quick level 6 for the next assassin, a little bit of extra gold for a set of boots. I mean, it's gonna have that now anyway. But it's even more important for the invoker, who is he's working on a Midas here, judging by the gold that he's banking up, and 400 gold that he got from that, pretty good.
Looks like Dale's probably going to go down again. The Quill Sprays are stacking up. They're going to get the stone on Krilly, but I doubt he's going to back up here. Easy slows. He's got the Orb of Venom and the Nasal Boot. Oh, but PSM wants to counter-initiate. Damage is coming in, dodging the Sunstrike. He probably knew that was coming in. He was just so low. Krilly very, very low. Has the stick charge, is going to pop up and run away.
PSM might be in trouble now. 2 poison charges here on top of him as well from Friggly. Really just turns around and helps him out a little bit too, so... a little bit overconfident here from that Scour of Mage, who's only level 3 and all alone.
Especially when you know he has a stick and you're a Skywrath Mage. You know, I mean, if it takes you more than a couple of nukes to kill him, he's gonna have enough stick charges to live through something, just because you're spamming so many spells.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Barash wants to try to snipe Krilly as he retreats, but did they see him get that Invis rune? I don't think they did.
Don't think so either. He picked it up down there in the bottom.
Krilly's just gonna TP out. They know that mid is missing at the very least, so they know he could be looking for a snipe off.
Might be finding the courier here instead, but wants to go for a juicier target here. Friggly low on mana, so there's nothing to help him. After he misses the stun, Light Strike Array though, Laguna Blade, sorry, is enough to actually finish him off.
Yeah, easy support kill. And that's one of the big advantages of the Corlina, right? Not only does she scale well into the late game, but having the early Laguna Blade means basically every gank should result in a kill if it's off cooldown, which it usually is.
Yep, it's very low cooldown for that huge of a nuke. Yeah, if you get an Aghanim Scepter up, which is normally the way to go for Lina, and might go on mid here actually, hits Eastguns going silenced up though, and now can't really finish up PSM just yet. A couple of right clicks will do it in the end, but at what cost? Eastguns will fall himself, so it's more gold going the way for Lina. Trade your mid for support, not exactly the best trade for Lemondogs.
Yeah, really, really nice timing for Barash coming in right there. Just the right time to make sure that he got
I see
something
some
out
more
of
kills
that.
here top, Dale. On cover Vendetta gets a stun off as well. Ah, nice Sunstrike here, that should do it. There we go. Very nicely executed, and that's the kind of yes that we saw in the qualifiers as well.
Yeah, you can see actually, even though Lemondogs are leading 6-4 on kills, if you look at the net worth, you can see just how much Submarine are getting out of the lanes. Their supports are kind of far
Equal that out a
behind.
little bit more here. Barash caught with disruption after the smoke. And
Cold.
Okay, they're making it happen.
Tower's coming apart.
they're fighting back here, that's for
Not
sure.
bad for a Midas. He's sitting on 2,700 gold. Do you think he wants to just go fast Yules? He could pick it up like right now.
I don't know, I'm a little bit curious. I mean, Midas is kind of the no-brainer for the Invoker more than any other hero, because he benefits so much from every single level that he gets.
Well, especially the Exhort Invoker, because you really want that Sunstrike damage, you want the early Meteor damage, get your level in Wex so you can start throwing Deafening Blasts around. You need those levels so badly. He's gone
Go for
Necrobook.
Necrobook, yeah, that's kind of the split-pushing route that gets online pretty damn early with the amount of farm that he got. It's kind of an old-school Invoker build that went along with kind of split-pushing Nature's Prophets as well. Does have these Force Spirits plus the Necrobooks. It's pushed down a lane when no one's looking, so to speak.
Dale wants to do something. He's popped the Vendetta on bottom lane.
There's some
I
help
don't
coming
think
here.
he can get Krilly, though.
Pretty tanky here. Friggly is also setting inside disruption. Does not quite come out yet. It's actually aggressively used just to keep Barash from throwing out his spells. So yeah, I mean Krilly at this point, he's got some decent amount of farm. Has died once thanks to that Sunstrike, but apart from that, hard hero to kill really at this point with only 2 points up in the bristleback, but it's still 12% from the side, 24 from the back.
Yes, I mean 24% reduction on Laguna Blade puts it down to what, like, so about 300-ish damage, and that's before you even get the reduction. So I don't actually know what order the bristleback reduction is applied with as compared to the magic damage reduction, but you're still only taking like 220, 230 damage from a Laguna Blade hitting you in the back right now.
Yep. Not as devastating as it would be on the Shadow Demon or
No,
even
not at all.
Chen, or even Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain actually quite squishy to that as well. We have some lag problems here on the side of yes, it looks like, so it gives us a chance to look at some other items that are coming up. And maybe talk about the support Beastmaster here. course, he doesn't have too much to see. He spent most of his time zoning out the clockwork, as well as jungling up a little bit here with pulls and stuff like that. So, what do you think his impact in the game will be like? I mean, obviously he's not going to have a quick blink dagger here like we see some offlane beastmasters do. They're also not stacking ancients, I don't think, not just yet, since he's on the other side of the map. How do you think this works out so far for them?
I was actually going to say that we can see that PSM is the one soaking the mid lane while Barash is ganking. I would have rather had that be Fervian. I think the quick level 6 would be a really, really big deal for him. I also think that in a lot of situations, if you have the Skywrath Mage Mystic Flare on this particular team, your best setup for it is the Primal Roar, since you don't have a lot of good guaranteed stun on the side of Yes. The Primal Roar would be great setup for the Lina stun, but great setup for the Nyx stun. I actually think it's a really key ability to get your hands on in this game, so it's kind of weird to me that they're letting him fall a little bit more behind. At the same time, if you look at how completely destroyed that Clockwork has been in terms of farm, he's just gotten his hookshot now at about 9.5 minutes, so he's been delayed very, very badly on that. And he has boots and a stout and a stick, because he's been just so completely destroyed by this Beastmaster. So you've definitely gotten some work done. The Beastmaster Skywrath pair slowed down the offlaner a lot, but at the same time, it's not like Dale is doing amazingly well on items. He's had his level 6, but it's not really been particularly impactful for him. You saw that first Vendetta be really unfortunate. So you're not really getting an advantage over the enemy offlaner by doing this. So, I don't know. I really would have liked to have the Primal Roar, I think is the crux of my argument.
Yeah, I would agree. At the same time, though, I mean, of both of these supports, the Beastmaster is the one that can utilize the jungle a little bit better, even outside of just pulling through, because you have that board that can tank a little bit. You have that, you have these axes that are pretty good nuke up against these jungle creeps and stacks. So maybe that's what they were thinking. Just make sure to divide the resources as evenly as you can. Make sure that the ones that can use the jungle actually do use it, and that the ones that can't get a little bit of lane experience.
Denied.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely getting a nice experience spread. They're being very efficient with their farm.
Well, made a hookshot here on PSM. Not quite sure if that was the best idea. Lina's right there and silenced up. PSM actually taking quite a bit of damage here, dodging the Cox. Actually, the Sonic Wave misses, and that'll be that. Down onto Eris Loco. Bauer has the Laguna Blade. Will throw it out, so that Clockwork is history. Now taking a lot of damage, though, with Step Style and E-Skills and all the creeps being there. They allow the mana, can't really help any further, and that'll be that. A 1-for-1 trade, maybe 1-for-2 here, with the help coming in from Friggly, Soulcatch on top of that. Should be a dead Nyx Assassin, maybe not with Spike Carapace, but E-Skills just hounding him. And one more right click should do it. There we go, after the blink. It'll be that. No further teleports available. And Invoker, of course, doesn't want to here. Beastmaster also not in any condition to fight. And PSM, of course, he was the one barely escaping from that, so it actually ends up as a decent trade here for LD, especially since they now can transition this into a tier 1 tower push, unless that's being deflected here by Barash, who was smoked out for a second there, trying to get rid of the creeps here and nuking the wave down. But
yeah, it is definitely an advantage for Lemondogs right there. It's really unfortunate for the Clockwork in particular that he was killed before any of the kills on Yellow Submarine went out, since he doesn't get any of that experience. So he really kind of needs to make sure that his next hookshot he gets something personally out of, because if your Clockwork starts falling behind and you can really only use him for counter initiation because he's not weak enough to really be a threat when he hookshots in, or excuse me, he's not strong enough, then he can end up being almost a little bit of a deadweight hero half the time.
Yep. Ensure you always, if you land your hookshots, you always have the initiation factor, but if that's a free kill and then you can't really get anything else off of that.
Yeah, you don't want him to be sacrificial like Avenge or something like that.
You at least want him to do a lot of damage doing so, so at least you want to have a blade mail. But the E-Skills here is actually dead.
No.
Yep. Not a lot of commentating to do there. He was silenced up here, Vendetta Strike lined up, and after the stun, so that's an easy kill here. Not spotted out by any sort of vision. At least from that direction. They do have a sentry ward smacked up in the middle of the river, but
yeah, I'm not sure. He was probably in trouble long before the Nyx got in range of that sentry ward.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, you usually think of the Queen of Pain as a very difficult hero to kill. Not for this Yellow Submarine team. They have so many good ways to deal with her. The Skywrath Silence, the various stuns. Once Beastmaster is 6, the Primal Roar is basically certain death for her unless she has a Shadow Demon right nearby. So she can't play nearly as aggressively as you'd usually expect a Queen of Pain to do, just because there's so much available counterplay for her skill set.
So Krilly is definitely going to be the one that they're looking to be the front line here in these fights and actually make the space for the Queen of Pain. But he's not quite there. It looks like he's going for either Glimmer Cape or a pipe straight up with the cloak.
I think a pipe would actually be really, really good against this team. It's the percent damage reduction aura that it gives now was such a huge buff.
Hello.
Dire's top towers.
Talked about the Queen of Pain, and just as we stop,
fortified their
we
structures.
see him killed another time, and the
Sunstrike.
Invoker actually claims that with the Sunstrike.
Dire's
Yeah.
top
Looked a little bit
towers
like the Light Strike. Oh, Master was up. They want to get something off of that Dale here. The first one to arrive, not quite in range for a stun. Not then netted up instantly, so...
Radiant's bottom towers seem
Actually,
better
LD
days.
hanging around for a little bit. Looks like they might want to think about fighting this. Fergan not level 6 yet, so no roar
Dire
available.
just disown their top tower.
So,
Radiant's
Ares Loco
mid
just
tower
left. They're
could use
probably
a
gonna
hand.
just
yeah.
back up.
This is an interesting decision. They teleport 3 up top there just to secure the deny.
Yeah, I
Seems
mean,
a little overkill.
honestly, your Invoker probably could have gotten that with just because he had the Forge Spirits. If you really want the deny, why wouldn't you just commit the Necro Minions? I guess he wants to have them handy, but I haven't seen them go down at all this game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's really used them, so why not just burn them and try to get the deny with that instead of committing a bunch of TPs? Now,
Well, as a result,
Lemondogs can feel
the
much more
Dire
confident
best
about
do
a lot of their
something about
farming
that
because they know there's
bottom
no
tower.
counter available from the Nyx, there's no counter available from the Skywrath or the Beastmaster. Those are scary heroes.
Maybe that was the plan though, and Dale, they as well as PSM, they will find Krilly, but it's not the target that they had in mind. So they were smoked up here, trying to look for a pickoff here. Maybe with that knowledge in mind that Lemondogs might be a little bit more complacent here with a farming style, but no joy as they're now huddled up in the mid lane around that sentry ward that
Dire's
they
mid
got.
tower won't
Actually,
last
freshly
much
placed
longer.
one as the other one expired, but yeah. Now gonna claim that tier 1 finally.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Or the
ain't
next
pretty
tier 1
sight
that
right
shouldn't
now.
be denied here unless
No breaking through
PSM
the
with
dire
that
structures
74
for
damage
now.
that he got. Make some magic happen. Maybe they want to go on Krilly here. The Sunstrike will connect it. There's a lot of damage stun to follow. Mystic Flare on top of that. So much damage, but he's still not dead yet. Because he had the back turn during all of that. Yeah, a lot of committal to tower.
Ain't a pretty sight right
Actually
now.
not denied, so... Guess it's relatively low cooldown, so he can get away with it.
Yeah, actually, that tower kill is going to bring the gold back almost to like only about a 500 gold advantage for Yellow Submarine. So even though they've been getting so much more out of the lanes, you can see the supports actually on Yellow Submarine are doing particularly well. The Chen almost did about a
Radiant's
4k net
bottom tower
worth.
seem
The
better
Shadow Demon
days.
doing very well. Shadow Demon and Chen both outdoing the offliner from Yellow Submarine. So, I mean, even though the cores are maybe a little bit less farmed, maybe you can get those earlier support luxury items. Maybe you can get an earlier Force Staff. You can see that Chen has the mech, which is very, very helpful for these early engagements that they obviously want to be taking.
Yep. It can't help but feeling, I mean, Dale has been doing what an Nyx Assassin is supposed to be doing, right? I mean, just once you hit 6, you Vendetta up and you try and find ganks. Hasn't really been too successful with that. I mean, he's 1-4-1, of course, a lot of those kills out of the laning stage. But now he's actually the one trying to catch up here in the top lane, farming up a little bit, while the rest of his team trying to pick up the slack with the level 6 and the Beastmaster now ready to go. They want to find a target, and that's...
Radiant's mid
That was
tower's
one
coming
spotting out
apart.
that there's a safe path into the
breaking
jungle. They
down
now
the
might
radiant
find
structures
Clockwork
like
here.
this.
Who's finding who? He's gonna get roared up, blown up instantly here. Krilly and Figgly. Now Figgly not actually getting the disruption off in time, and now Barrage coming in from the other side here. Krilly actually in trouble. There's a disruption here to dodge the Laguna Blade, and now Figgly on the run though. I'm not quite sure if that's enough to actually save him. E-skills here, trying to throw his own life into the line of fire here. Yeah, Sun's up. Actually might end up sacrificing himself, and he will with the last nuke coming in from PSM. So Krilly survives, but at what cost, Hippie?
I mean,
Does he
I
survive?
just-
Oh no! I spoke too soon! I spoke too soon, man!
Right now.
Triple
So that
kill
cost
for
us
me,
absolutely
Poshka! Oh
Not
my
worth
god.
it. Oh my, now they're just gonna take a free Roshan with the level 2 Necro. Oh, this is so bad for Lemondogs. They were doing so well with their support code. The Chen had that sick mech through the trees to try and save Krilly, but it just didn't matter in the end. And this should be a very, very easy Rosh pickup. Fresh Force Spirits? Oh no, yes, he needs to re-invoke. Oh, and a whiffed hook shot in bottom lane on that Beastmaster. Oh, that would have been a free kill.
Oh no.
Poor Ares
Radiant's
Loco.
top tower is in
His
bad
Clockwork
shape.
is just not getting done what it needs to get done. And I think the Nyx is having the same problem, but I feel like Clockwork is a little bit more all-in. You need to be able to get the good
Radiant's
initiations and
top
ganks.
tower
Nyx,
is
at the very
taking
least, if
hits.
he falls behind. Even in the late game, Mana Burn is still very strong against intelligence heroes like the Queen of Pain. The Impale is obviously very useful.
Roche is done for.
But
Thanks to
Clockwork,
Dire.
ooh, it's a hero that really, really doesn't want to be playing on the back foot.
I know about you, man, but this is exactly the kind of game that I was expecting here. A lot of plays, and yes, once again showing us what they can do. And wow, and yeah, Lemondogs even contesting here quite decently up until this point, but now, I mean, we can take a look at the graphs now, and
Guess what's happening?
you see what that one single team fight did to them.
Look at the
Especially with
Invoker's
the
net
last
worth
pickup.
compared to anyone else in the game.
Yeah.
8,500. The closest on Lemondogs is the 5,500 Queen of Pain. That triple kill was so huge.
It's even without a Midas. You gotta have to flag that fact that this is an Invoker without a Midas being that far ahead of everyone here on the side of LD. But yeah, they want to push the advantage here regardless here with the Chen creeps, utilizing them
Can't do
while they were
nothing
strong
about
here, trying to go for this
structures
tower,
right
but
now.
yeah, Yellow Submarine not committing to deny this one as well. Really caught with the cold snap. Not quite enough to bring him down just yet,
Dire
so
just
they
couldn't save that
actually
bottom tower.
not denied.
Yeah, so
catapult
commitment
is
for
wrong.
nothing from Yes.
Yeah, they can turn this into a counter push maybe here. They have Barrage healing up at base. They're not gonna have that. He actually has an Aghanim Scepter as well. Not quite sure if you flagged that already.
I think Lemondogs wants to go in. But Yes knows it. They saw the Queen of Pain rotate past this ward. So they're gonna be ready for this. Dale's vendetted up.
I think he's dodged a Sentry Ward. Yeah. Well, there's the hookshot here. Eris Loco gets PSM. He still comes in, but double stun here! And Destruction comes out to actually save him from the Mystic Flare. So Eris Loco's still alive and kicking. Krillly not so much as he dies on the other side of the tree line. Freakily also caught between everyone else. Eris Loco still surviving here with the extra amount that he got from the 17 stick charges he probably had. Or one charges, I should say. But yeah, still 2 heroes down, make the 3. As Fervian and Barrage finish up the Chen here. Just below the
easy
2-hour
dive.
tower.
Banged up.
Beastmaster board to keep him locked down. Lina obviously can get very easy, and Beastmaster can tank the tower as well.
In trouble.
Just getting out of hand, man.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, this is
better days.
spiraling pretty badly, and this is the
Radiant
Lemondogs
lost
team
one of
is
them
not.
bottom
I
towers.
have no confidence in their ability to beat Yellow Submarine in the late game. Honestly, I mean, you'd usually say Bristleback kind of decent in the late game, but you have a Chen who's not going to be particularly strong in the late game. You have a Clockwork who's really far behind, so he's not going to be able to kind of keep the mid game tempo going. And Lina and Invoker, in spite of being very heavily casters, obviously in the early game, both scale very strongly into the late game. Also,
Absolutely.
obviously, you have the Nyx stun scales really well. The Beastmaster Roar scales incredibly well. The Skywrath Mage even scales a little bit with the Arcane Bolt, the Silence against the Quap. I just feel like the composition of Yellow Submarine, they won the lanes largely, in spite of the fact that their offlane did badly. They're being very strong here in the mid game because they're able to take these fights even against the Chen. And I just have, I don't think Lemondogs can handle the late game at this point. So I'm a little bit worried for them. I'd like to see them get something. I'd like to see like a big AoE. Like maybe if the Clockwork catches a couple of people, you can still get a really good Quap set of AoE off. The Bristleback can chase people down, but they need to make something big happen.
Speaking of chasing down, these girls finally tracks down PSM, who is extremely greedy though, so it's all on his cap, I would say. They're trying to soak up experience with the 200 health points that he had up in the top lane. Yeah, it's these kind of small little things that if they add up, then LD can... I'd actually say that they can actually come back into this game, but as you said, they do have a time on them. If this goes late, you have the Lina here with the pure damage ultimate here, 950 at level 3. He's actually not quite far from that as well. Then you have the Invoker with
What's with all the
his immense
scribbling?
potential in the late game, just because of the right clicks as well. I mean, Invoker later on hits pretty fast and hits pretty strong.
Yeah, Wex is actually shockingly frustrating in the late game because he's built all of these. I mean, one of the nice things about a lot of the really good, intelligence items, obviously, of course, they have really good effects on them, talking about Hex, talking about Yules, etc. But if you're swinging fast already, it is actually quite a lot of right-click damage on any sort of intelligence hero. Big smoke up in the mid lane. I'm not sure it's going to find anything, though, from Lemondogs here. Yellow Submarine is basically everywhere else on the map.
It must be so frustrating here for LD. They're gonna... they might just wrap
Well, they
around
might have
here
enough
to the
time to
top
get top
lane.
lane.
Yeah.
They still have like 2/3 of the smoke left, or a third, excuse me.
Dale is there, might spot out Eros Loco.
Dire's
I'm not quite sure if that's the
mid-tower
target that they want to
still
go, and
ahead.
they do anyway. It stands up immediately, he can't get the cogs down, and everything committed on Eros Loco. But those Destruction actually saves him for now. So can they pick up something more here in the E-skills with that nice Sonic Wave? They will pick up both the Nyx as well as the Beastmaster. Hippie, is that enough though?
So, I don't think it's quite enough yet, but it puts them way back on closer to even footing. The Queen of Pain's over 8,000 net worth. They're getting good levels off of this. Did anyone just hit an 11 or anything off of that? Let's see here. Bristleback hit 11. He may have had it just before the fight. I'm not sure.
Must
But I mean, what did I say? I wanted Clockwork into Quap AoE into Bristleback Chase Down, and there goes Jen. Oh, Laguna Blade.
Guys, let's push. Let's get something more out of it. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane here, okay, they might get me partial. If they get that, that's a big kill. And they do 879 gold. But wait on a fight recap on that one. The last one got them about 2,000. This one as well. This single kill, another 2,000 gold in the bank. And they get the tower on top of that.
Yes,
so
the Radiant disown that bottom
yeah,
tower.
you have to remember that with the change to where they slightly lessened the comeback golden experience, they still made it so that if you're getting the core out of that, like you're getting the highest farmed hero on the team, which Mipashka was, you're getting a much larger chunk than you did previously. So it's very, very worth it to kind of 3-man those particular kills.
Yep.
Radiant's top tower.
I think he's probably going for a Hex though next, and he's only 200 gold to the Mystic Staff.
Oh yeah, that will make a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's so about 1,000 gold until he has a Hex, so we're gonna have like 27, 28 minute, maybe once he revives, even maybe like 26-minute Invoker with Hex and Necro 3. That's terrifying.
Depending on how many Sunstrike kills you can get in the meantime. They actually find Friggly here in the side, gets stunned up, well actually, yeah, even after full stuff, not enough to actually save him. Crilly here, actually locking him in though. Being roared up, teleport out from Dale, kind of leaving Fervian to die. He has a teleport of his own right now coming off cooldown. Not gonna get a chance to use it. 1-for-1 trade at the end of it. Support for support is out there as it sounds if we're talking about Beastmaster, but yeah. Well, if you're behind and trading 1-on-1, it's actually good for you, and yeah, the fight recap also does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, really, really well done by...
Oh, Hulk shot onto Barash. He's all alone down here. Gets a Lag Strike array off, and as well as Laguna Blade. That's actually not quite enough to bring down that Clockwork, who's been able to tank up a little bit at the very least. Now that's another kill. Yeah, Sunstrike. Not this time, man. Not this time. Deathstall actually keeping very close to Eros Loco just to make sure that he shares in the damage if that Sunstrike hits.
Yeah, well played. It was very nice by Yellow Submarine when they were going in on the top lane to actually look for the Shadow Demon, because he's turned what should have been just like an easy set of kills for Yellow Submarine into trades very, very often by disrupting people who are under either the Primal Roar or the Skywrath Mage Ultimate, which is exactly what we were talking about in the draft phase. I think the Shadow Demon has been by far the most effective hero.
You find Deathstall. Sunstrike will connect here barely on the edge, but now Crilly can't really get on top of him since Dale does have that 4-staff, so very nicely played. What? Whoa! Is that a... Yeah, that's a dominated range creep with 1,000 health points. That's actually terrifying. Trying to body block, but yeah. Very cheeky indeed. But yeah, they do trade kills all over the place, but... Yeah.
So the Queen of Pain, I mean, the Queen of Pain Aghanims I actually really like in this particular game, even though usually you want that to be like a really fast item. I think that with the low cooldowns on Yellow Submarine, they're going to be ready to fight basically all the time. And so you want to have that Queen of Pain ultimate available, so they at least have to think about, oh, you know,
1-on-1 here.
Sonic moved on.
Fervian and Eros Loco, but really coming in as well, and Eros Loco with the stick charge as well as the Blade Mail. And the Berry Sword advantage does get the upper hand of it.
Yeah, so in spite of being pretty far behind, I feel like Eros Loco is making some really good hook shots happen in the past like 5-6 minute window. So props to him. I was saying it's very difficult to play a Clockwork from behind. I absolutely believe it is, but he's making sure he finds targets he can actually kill.
Dale, I think he runs into a Sentry Ward. Disruption E-Skills is there to pick up on that. Yeah, I mean, Spike Carapace will delay a little bit, but now actually E-Skills taking quite a bit of damage from the Mystic Flare, but 4-staffed out from Friggly here, who's with his weight in gold, I guess, with the impact that he had in this fight. Now Barish joining, as well as Crilly here. They trade some damage. Crilly though instantly healed up by the mech as well as the stick charge, charges. Yeah. So he went for Force Spirits as well.
Really, really good timing on just spinning around to make sure he ate a good chunk of that Laguna Blade. If he'd eaten it to the face, I think Yellow Submarine tries to go deeper.
Well, now it's LD's turn to go deeper here. Dale has another Vendetta though. Oh, he's with nice up. They want more. They want more. He Crilly leading the charge, but nice Tornado gets to here. Friggly, not quite yet. Though throws out some poison here, but will give his life for it as Dale finally reveals himself. And now the Necro Creeps are there, and actually, are those Death Stars? No, I think he got one of those.
No, he dominated it.
That's so annoying as well.
Yeah, the Chen. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, we said the Necrobook was kind of a weird build, and you pull it up against a Chen too. It's not quite as bad as against an Enchantress, because it's just basically free.
Yep.
But and also the fact that it's giving them that true sight. I mean, taking away the true sight from Yellow Submarine, obviously, so they don't get the counter warding going, but also making sure that you can see that Nyx Assassin if he pops that Necro Creep while he's in Vendetta.
Yep. I'm not exactly working to their advantage right now, that's for sure. Watch
there he
as
is,
well,
okay.
I mean... Yeah, Roshan's coming back and Sunstrikes galore, just to make sure that there are no Hawks, but there's one anyway here up on the high ground. So, LD will know about that as... Actually, yeah, the Hawks on the side, yes, so what am I talking about? But the LD would still know about thanks to the rocket flare, of course. And yes, anticipating movement here down towards that area. Smoked up, Dale invised up as well. Really here on the front lines, he's kind of the one that can tank everything. Roar comes out anyway, Sunstrike silenced up here, 4-stab out and disruption. Just to save him here. Is that enough though? Not with the Light Strike Array hitting right on the mark. So Quilly will die here to lead up this fight. Airslogger trying to do what he can with the Blade Mail pop. Dale gets out thanks to the 4-stab now. Yeah, Miposhka and Baurush, they're joining the fight here, doing as much as they can. Miposhka actually with the Soul Cannon top of him taking so much damage. Is there enough? Yeah, with Lee Skills blinking across the trees, it is. Not quite dying to the Laguna Blade here. Nice cock placement to zone him out, but Baurush here has a blink of zone. Does not quite get the right click off though to finish off these skills, but so they're gonna have to settle for the Shadow Demon. Maybe they can track down another Slok as well, and they will. They don't quite get the Queen of Pain, but they get everyone else here. 4 for 2 trade in the end. And if Krillly survived that, I mean, yeah, there was so much burst on Krillly here, even in the back. But yeah, with the Ancient Seal kind of balancing that out a little bit, and to a point where he took so much damage before the Disruption came out, that they were able to finish him off and lead off the fight on a huge advantage there. If Bristleback survives the initial burst, can get a couple of Quill Sprays off. Well, this fight turns out to be a little bit different, I would say.
Yeah, and on top of that, so the Chen's Hand of God was just coming off cooldown as the Bristleback went down. He couldn't quite get it off, but you can see he actually didn't get it off in that fight at all, not because he was controlled so hard, but because you had the Necrobook mana burn, you had the Nyx Assassin mana burn, you had the mana break coming off the range, or excuse me, the melee Necrobook minion, just to the point where he had basically 0 mana. He popped his Arcanes to try and get it off, and still wasn't able to cast it. It was just too expensive, because they took out his entire mana bar. So you have that whole fight with no Hand of God. And I actually think that fight was close enough that everyone on Yellow Submarine was kind of close to going down right there. You had a lot of people from Lemondogs who kind of just barely died. I think if the Hand of God goes off, they at least get a couple more return kills there.
Well, it was not to be as the Stolen Hawk scouts out the Invoker down here at the Secret Shop. Yeah, turned out to be quite a back and forth game until now. We can take another look at the graphs, and yeah, yes, have been able to stabilize once again on that 7,500 gold advantage mark. About 9,000 experience as well. Now Roshan still a point of contention, so after the last fight, both teams, I mean, yes, sure, they won it, but they haven't really been able to focus on Roshan with the resources that they had left, so that big guy is still up. Both teams still have all their 5 heroes, respectively, here around that pit.
Yeah. Dale has both his Blink Dagger and his Force Staff now, so he's got that little bit of extra mobility and make it very easy for him to set up those stuns. Oh,
there's a hookshot here. BKB forced out as well. PSM might be dying here straight off the bat. Gets the Mystic Flare out though, and as much spells as he can. Can they capitalize off it though? Doesn't look like it. So it's gonna be a straight 1-for-1 trade as Jen actually dies down in the jungle to something.
It looks like it was Barash. He Laguna Bladed him.
Yeah. Doesn't actually show on the fight recap. Thanks Volvo, but yeah, that's on cooldown, so. Oh.
Oh, so it looks like actually a lot of back off happening from Lemondogs. Yellow Submarine taking the opportunity to kind of get positional advantage over Roshan. They're just going to go right in. I guess with the Inner Beast, they feel like they can take it fast enough.
They're doing quite a bit of damage, not quite a lot of minus armor though. Now Krillly coming in, leading the charge, but that Forge Spirit is of course spotting that out. Dale sitting on the outskirts of the Roshan pit, ready to blink in and get a what's it called, an impale off. Only the minions now, once again on the Roshan pit, they don't want to open themselves up to any sort of good initiation from the Clockwork. Now, once again, the part of them up on high ground, a little bit spread out on the side of Yes. Looking for maybe an isolated target on the side of LD, but they're huddled closely together here. The Chen, without a creep right now, actually. I don't think. Maybe getting himself one of these mud golems. And now Krillly, once again, Yeah, sounds up, not quite, but Disruption saves him for now. Dale will give his life for the cause as the tornado rips through. Eris Loco here, defying the front lines with those cogs of his. Now Furby and Isolated Bowers here, low on health, as he lifts up that Eris Loco into the air and runs away. 3 heroes down from side of yes, just like that.
That was such a big commitment for Yellow Submarine. How do you think that you're going to go in on a Bristleback when you have a Shadow Demon right there, and you're going in, so you have this little box right here, right? That box is as far as you can move, and that's about the size of a Queen of Pain ultimate. Yeah. So they walk in, get completely destroyed by the Co-op ultimate, lose 3 heroes, and get absolutely nothing for it because of Disruption and Force Staffs. I don't get how you take that fight. That's happened to you before.
Yeah,
they're just like throwing.
They were barely able to take it the last time, but then they had the Asylum on top of Curly as well, even more damage, and they had a better position as well as Barish actually comes in, blows him up with a good blade from the high ground. And yeah, actually, yeah, Barish picks it up with a little bit of help from Poshka too, but the Roshan still goes the way of Lemondogs. Queen of Pain will pick that up, takes a little bit of damage here, hexed up, low on mana, but has enough for a blink, so that'll be that. Does not have to use the Aegis right away. Maybe Dale doesn't actually get the stun off here, comes splitting the wicket there as everyone will teleport out frequently. Will be the sacrificial lamb here, caught with the cold snap. I think that's a trade that you still take. Maybe here, Krilly going down again, not exactly helping your cause, but then again, the Queen of Pain sitting on top of the network now with an Aegis at hand, BKB, Aghanim Scepter, and 2,700 gold.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know if that ends up being almost even for Lemondogs because they did manage to take Barosh, and wow, the Quap has now jumped to the top of the net worth chart.
Yeah.
So she's now eclipsing the Invoker, who I've been, you know, saying the praises of all game.
Sunstrike comes in, that's an easy kill, so getting closer to the Queen of Pain once again, but 200 gold still apart.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
Yeah,
I would really love for Lemondogs to prove me wrong and just take this game. They're obviously in a much more even situation, but it's such a nice comeback that they've managed to pull off here, really capitalizing on the mistakes from Yellow Submarine. I still think the biggest one was that engagement in Radiant Jungle right now, before the Roche. Because not only do you give up a ton of kills to that Queen of Pain, but the Roche as well. Now she can play very aggressively.
Hookshot will miss. Or maybe they don't want to go just yet. Might lose the tower because of it. Actually silence and slow onto Eris Loco. That's a follow-up stun here from Dale. Gets the hell out of there as Krudy actually gets caught with the Hex Disruption. No, will save him from the worst of it, and now the Invoker goes down with E-Skills popping that BKB. Fighting like a man. Yeah, I was talking about it before. I mean, if these kind of pickoffs keep going, and if you get a lost team fight on that as well, maybe another pickup on PSM, out of mana, blink forward here from E-Skills, gets the roared up. I don't think they have enough damage, or maybe they do. With the Barish coming in from the back as well, they blow up, not one but two, as Eris Loco also joining the land of the dead, but yeah, doesn't have a BKB actually, stun up, Disruption will delay this a little bit, but nice follow-up stun from Dale, actually does not quite get it here, E-Skills gets a blink out, has another ultimate available here in 1 second, Barish though, he's looking for blood, he gets a stunner on the high ground, but the Glimmer came from one of the supports here, that's Destar who picked it up, making sure that E-Skills will survive after the fact, so a lot of shots fired, but then they do get the Aegis at least, so no more aggressive potential coming from that, and they also get the Clockwork, and don't pay anyone else, it's probably the most important outcome of that particular engagement.
Yeah, since the Invoker had already died down closer, and that was kind of on the retreat, and A-Skill just got far more aggressive than he should have. Really good for Yellow Submarine to negate that Aegis advantage. Now Lemondogs has to be much more careful about the fights they take. She's got 3,500 gold, what do you think? Do you think she just goes for a Hex now, and just saves, make sure she has buyback available?
I don't see what else he would buy. Maybe Lincoln's, but then again, there's so many things, so many cheap things that can proc that. So yeah, Hex would be pretty good, I would say. Just add some more disable on top of what you already have. Make sure Bristleback can stay on top of someone if necessary as well.
Yeah, I feel like the Lincolns just, especially against a Skywrath Mage, would not be full. Just pop it with the Arcane Bolt and then get the silence off. It just forces you to use the BKB anyway, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the comeback that LD has been able to make. I mean, it's not just E-Skills, who is now eclipsed by Barish after the last fight. He picked up a little bit of momentum there himself, but also the Clockwork. I mean, at some point, Eris Loco, I mean, he just came out with the treads and the blade mail. That alone kind of actually maybe something that Yes wasn't really expecting. I mean, we saw his impact in the last fight as well, just by the virtue of the cogs down here in the jungle. And the cogs were kind of smacked up right. I mean, I can't draw it right now. You can see it on the minimap, but not on the actual map. The cogs kind of isolated the rest of the fight here on the right hand side, as well as the Beastmaster was kind of stuck here between the cogs and the trees. So kind of made it that Yes, even if they didn't get that awful initiation up on the Bristleback, and would have still had a bad time just getting into the fight and having some freedom of movement. So he's been able to kind of pay dividends and make sure that he carries his own weight in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of taking advantage right down there in that particular fight, and in general, the team is taking advantage of how well they fight in choke points. And don't get me wrong, Yellow Submarine has some pretty good line AoE that you don't want to deal with either. Obviously the Dragon Slave, obviously the Chaos Meteor, the Deafening Blast, but I don't think any of that really compares to the level of disruption that Power Cogs puts into a fight if you throw it down a choke point, because basically nobody can move anywhere, but on the Sonic Wave and the Scream of Pain is so much more damage than Yellow Submarine can really put out in that kind of a situation.
Speaking of disruption, yeah, I'm not quite sure if that was intended from you, but of course you have Friggly as well, which is maybe one of the other sole reasons, if that's fair to say, that they actually stayed alive to begin with, to get to this point where they're at right now, and to actually start turning and winning these fights. I mean, his disruptions were always on point, and now he even has more tools. I mean, we saw the Force Off in action as well, and the Glimmer Cape on him too. So they have 2 Glimmer Capes on these 2 supports, even more defensive potential. So, yeah, what do you think about the Glimmer Cape in general and in this game?
I think Glimmer Cape is probably the single best item that was introduced in the, 6.84 originally. I think that against Skywrath Mage and Invoker, it's basically beyond God tier. So it kind of, I mean, that's another reason you don't see Skywrath Mage as much. I didn't mention this during the draft because I really didn't think about it at the time. But okay, you Skywrath ultimated someone, woo, now they're Glimmer Caped. Now what?
Yeah.
I mean, you just burned your entire mana bar and you don't do much for the rest of the fight. And they didn't really take that much damage from it, and they can just easily get healed up, especially with a mech on the team, and especially with a Chen. There's 2 Glimmer Capes over here on the side of Lemondogs. Chen has one as well.
Yep.
So it's just questionable to me to kind of go quite that hard. Obviously, the Lina Laguna Blade will go through, but all of her remaining damage from the Dragon Slave and the Light Strike Array also getting reduced. The Invoker Chaos Meteor getting reduced is such a big deal. It's just very, very frustrating to try and kill anyone through a Glimmer Cape. And honestly, so I still do think that Yellow Submarine can have a very, very strong late game, but they need to do something about armor on their team. They have a Vlad's, but that's it. No one else has built any real armor items. You have the Bass Ring that's not going to work because it's not going to stack with the Vlad's. So maybe someone wants to, pick up even some cheap armor items for themselves. Maybe they even need to pick up an AC or something, but at the moment, the Quill Spray is just doing so much as these fights drag on, because nobody on that team has any sort of decent armor value. Your highest base armor is the Nyx at 9, which isn't really all that high at the 36-minute mark.
Yep.
And even with the Vlad's Aura, he's only going to go to... 14 is good, but it's not exceptional. And with Quill Spray hitting your whole team, auras, auras, auras.
Yep. It's as you said, the Vlad's helps, but the only other... The one item that's really effective would be the Assault Cuirass, but who will buy that at this point?
Yeah, who's
I mean,
going to get
Invoker kind of wants other things as well. I mean, he might want to start thinking about a BKB too, because I think, I'm not quite sure what in the last fight, but in one of these fights, that Soul Catcher, Wrigley got that on top of him as well, and he took so much damage in the process from just not just the right clicks, but just the Queen of Pain, for instance.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, of course, the ultimate will also go through, but still.
You'd also try to think about maybe getting a Medallion and maybe even eventually a Solar Crest to put on whoever Bristleback is actually chasing, because obviously he's gonna be hitting everybody, but he's gonna be nasal going one particular target, and having that instant bonus armor to put on, as well as giving you the evasion to deal with all those right clicks, could be very nice. I mean, even just the Medallion, I think, would be really nice to help deal with countering off the nasal goo a little bit.
Yeah, I would actually like to see that. Would also help you with the Roshan as well.
Yes.
Maybe get it down a little bit quicker here if LD is out of position.
Yeah, and then if you are focusing someone, it works brilliantly with the Invoker. If you have the Forge Spirit's Necrobook combo coming out and you Medallion the target, if they're cold snapped, no one's going to live through that. Except the Bristleback, obviously, but no one else.
Well, Glimmer Cape, as good as it is, if you have detection, it's not gonna save you from the right clicks still. I would actually love to see that. I mean, Scarab Mage actually has enough gold for at least the medallion. So, if they have that in mind, in the back of the mind, then maybe we see that picked up. I would definitely like to see it as well.
I think at this point you kind of need to be saving for buyback, even on your supports.
Yeah.
I think, especially by the time the next Roshan's up, I'm actually like having serious lag issues, so I can't actually see the Roshan timer. But there's something. I think there's storms rolling through my home area, so I'm dropping a few packets as the network is kind of weird. But I mean, it's not like I can't cast. I'm just getting stutter once in a while. But what's the Roshan timer like? How long do we have for him?
Still a couple of minutes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, well if they've got that much time, they'll have time to farm up some buyback. But once Roshan comes up, they all really want to have buyback available, because even a couple support pickoffs can completely change that dynamic.
Oh man, a lot of things to talk about. Indeed. Slowly running out, maybe, unless you have something else. Maybe the bristleback. We haven't really.
Well, I did notice. We were talking about the pipe earlier, and he's kind of left it at a casual cloak and went instead for some damage items, which I think is really nice. I figure that'll probably be a BKB next off that Ogre Club. Obviously, he already has the S and Y, but I still think that as we're going further into the game, a pipe would be really nice for him. I think that magic damage reduction for everybody would be really nice against the Invoker, against the Lina, against the Skywrath Mage, even against a lot of the Nyx damage, frankly. The only person who's really not dealing any magical damage is going to be that Beastmaster, and even though you have the pure damage Lina ult, I still think it's very strong, obviously, against the rest of her AoE. But the active, of course, is still very good. It'll really help when they decide they need to break high ground. So I would like to see that come out at some point for him, even though I think the BKB is probably the better initial choice, just so he can't get controlled quite as hard.
Yep. Also, he's picked up the drums as well as the Sanj Nyasha, and both of these items are kind of like middle of the road when it comes to effectiveness. I mean, drums, of course, it's kind of fallen out of favor. I'm actually surprised to see it at all these days. I mean, it's of course still a very effective, cost-effective item here with the +9 to all attributes. Compare that to like the ultimate ult, it gives +10 or just a little bit more money. And of course, the aura attack speed is nice, the movement attack speed is nice, but overall, that on top of the Sanj Nyasha, which is also kind of middle of the road, gives you a little bit of everything. I mean, is that stacking too much, or is that... I mean, is it delaying other items like the BKB too much, or do you think it's actually good in this game? Or has been good in this game?
I think that with his role in this game, largely being he's going to be in, like, a chaser and a finisher sort of hero, all he needs to do... I mean, so both of those are giving him some level of tankiness, right? Along with the cloak, along with the Ogre Club. And most of what he's been trying to do is make sure he cleans up all the people that the Quap has AoE'd. So I think in this particular game, it's actually been pretty nice, because it's making sure he can get in range on people, he can get that first stack of goo, chase them down, keep up with the Quill Spray. I think it's not necessarily an every game sort of thing. I think Drum in particular is not really an every game sort of thing for the Bristleback. I think there's only a couple heroes now that it's still really core on, and he's not one of them. But it's still a useful item for him, as opposed to, once upon a time, Drum was literally just buy it on every carry, period, because it was so cost effective. But it's been nerfed several times since then.
Alright, and now's the time we look at effigies, as we maybe have 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes pause time, but yeah, PSM just said 1 more minute, and then we'll be underway again. Not quite sure if the lag issues that they have are fixed, or what the actual deal is.
I think he said it was
some home business,
somebody, okay. Yeah. This isn't TI5, we're allowed to pause to go get water, I guess.
Yeah, who knows, I mean...
Actually, well, I had been looking at the Twitter feed of their manager all day, so I kind of have some sympathy there. Because he was talking about how he was spending basically the whole day trying to fix their air conditioner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was B for complexity, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
That's cool.
Hero manager right there.
Yeah. that guy's super dedicated. I've actually casted with him once, I believe.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. I don't know what it was. One of the complexity games for sure.
Yeah, that would actually be fun to cast with him. He'd have some really nice insight into the team dynamics in particular.
Yep. I think it was even when Bloody 9 was still on the team.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Was it Rise? I mean, I remember talking. I remember talking about the Enigma player. I think that was Bloody 9. I'm not 100% sure, but it's quite a while ago. But yeah, the point is that Eve is definitely the kind of guy that goes the extra mile for his team. He's a super dedicated manager,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean that boot camp and probably his efforts as well, kind of was
Hey,
what
shout outs to
contributed.
Beef. Follow him on Twitter.
Yep, absolutely. At Cole_beef, I think he is.
Cole_beef. Yeah, they actually,
yeah.
unlike some other teams, I think every single person is required to have the Cole under there, and they keep it actually very, very simple.
Yep.
So it's really easy to find all of them. It's actually very nice when I'm trying to tweet about people,
Yep.
and I can actually find them based on what their name
Alright,
should be.
Carry on.
Yeah, no, that's not some sort of
Oh.
weird meat association that named themselves beef. It's just complexities beef. Kind of adds to the visibility a little bit. But yeah, enough of that. Can actually get a chance to look at the effigies in depth. So maybe next game.
The Dire might want to
As we get finally back on the way. If you're just tuning in or if you're coming back now, this is still game 1 here of Lemondogs versus the Yellow Submarine or Yellow Submarines. Actually, the plural, or is it?
I think it's Signal. I think it's just Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, in the
where they
Jungle
live.
League
Dire
Season
top
6,
tower.
Division 2.3
You know the
in
drill.
Europe. Random Sunstrike to kill creep.
Sunstrike, that
Why
single
not?
creep.
Hashtag value right there.
Hey man, he's not going to be using it for anything else, right? He'll probably just... Oh no. I was going to say it's probably in the second slot and he'll invoke it away, but no, he's going to hold on to it.
Yep. Also being able to switch the slots, just make it easy to hold on to spells. I mean, are you an Invoker player actually? I mean, I'm not.
I am.
I'm not touching that hero with a 10-foot pole, but
He's actually my most played hero.
okay.
So yeah, the free slot switch was one of the best things they ever did for us.
Yeah,
Believe
okay.
me. I mean, especially just when you need to there's certain, either if you're Quas Wex or if you're Exort Quas, there really is like certain combos obviously you want available, but you want to be able to obviously bump out because you basically have 3 spell combos you want to be working for. But you don't want to bump out like a spell that might be useful again when it comes off cooldown and then have to re-invoke again.
Yeah.
So especially at lower levels, it's a really big deal.
So that's a qualified opinion right there.
I mean,
as I said, I'm a scrub player.
Good Invoker player, but I'm an Invoker player. I'm only like 4K, dude. I'm not that good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak to that. I'm a scrub player, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. So when I first started playing Dota and saw that hero, and read through what he does.
It was just nope, nope, nope.
Yeah. First I was confused, and I'm like, all right, that's a hero I'll never play.
Stun.
Oh.
They got the BKB off. Dale is getting chased down a little bit. They don't have any more detection, so it's just going to be a disengage from Yes.
Maybe random
He's got the
hookshot,
level
but the
2
boar's
right
actually blocking there as well. So very well played. But yeah, you know what's funny too? My
that?
hero challenge was get a kill with Invoker Sunstrike. But that's
Oh,
also a
man.
challenge that I'm not gonna be able to do.
Did you discard it?
That's the one
Did you
that.
not discard the hero?
That's the second one that is that I got from the scout. I'm not quite sure what the first one was. But yeah,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I can get a new one. I think now.
Well, so
or
what
later
you
today.
do is you have people pick like a 3-stun tri-lane, and then they just all burn their stuns and use Sunstrike. It's easy, man. I'll do it for you. It'll be great.
What
Do
was
it.
easy? The double kill challenge that I got on Rubik the other day. Was the only 2 kills that I got in the game. Was like a weird Patch Razor dual lane that I was up against with the Windrun on my side. And it was like one of these weird kind of engagements that last forever. Patch coming in a little bit late.
Well,
Windrunner
alright,
barely
Bash is-
living and me just somewhat getting that double kill. But yeah, speaking of kills, actually, let's talk about the kills that are happening in this game, or maybe not. Here as the disruption comes out, Barish will be the one ending up dead.
Accurate and precise.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they were already rotating 4 heroes up there when Barish was walking in. I guess they saw him and kind of wanted to go for it. But that's a really, really valuable pickoff right there. You have Lena dead for 65. You know she doesn't want to burn that buyback because she wants to have it ready for Roshan. So probably a free tier
Dire's
2 up
mid
here,
tower won't
I would
last
say.
much longer.
Yeah, but
It's not
no,
like
maybe
Red
not.
Bull's really big
Dale and
now.
PSM, I mean, they're not the
Dire's
fastest
mid
split pushers,
tower is
and
nothing
especially
now.
with Quilly up top here as well, defending. Yeah, that
So
tier
Eric's
2 being low on health too.
It's actually really nice for him.
Trouble
Okay, yeah, they
brewing
TP'd a couple
at
people back to
bottom
stop
tower.
bottom lanes. The split push was just going a little bit too strong for Yellow Submarine for them to be comfortable going for it.
BKB TP even, so.
I think that BKB is probably long since down to 5 seconds. So
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah,
burning
so.
sort of stuff. Not you're burning your 10 second for a TP out.
So yeah, I mean, they do get the tower that was denied though, so the teleport commitments this time around definitely useful here for the side of yes.
Okay, so that's 2 4-steps now for the side of yes. Finally, at the 40-minute mark, they have them. I can't believe they didn't go for that earlier with Clockwork on the opposing team. I didn't really think to mention that, but not having a 4-staff against a Clockwork is kind of just silly. It saves people from so much damage. I mean, sure, you're going to take the Cog tick on the way out, but it's so much better than eating an entire battery assault and being stuck in there with Clockwork.
Yep.
Radiant's top
I mean,
tower
Dale
is
had his
hurting.
full staff for a long time, but most of the time he wants to use it for his own kind of mobility, for his own initiation, and then don't have that to help against the counter initiation.
Yeah, that was silly of me. I completely forgot about the Nyx, but the Invoker and the Skywrath mate both have one now too.
Roshan gonna be back up soon as well.
Regeneration.
Just like 2 minutes. That was so confused about the timers. First time it goes out, and then the second time it comes out. Just have to remember that. But yeah, 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm not quite there
Void
just
stream
yet.
sniping, etc.
Yeah. Really long spawn.
Gotta keep Arteezy honest, right? Shout out to Arteezy, actually a really friendly dude. Met him at the summit. That was a good time.
Nice. Yeah, that's actually where you got the connections to TrueSight TV, right?
Yes, yeah, I met.
When
I
that's not
met
recruiting you, yeah.
at the summit. She put me in contact with Revo.
So there's that Scythe of Vice also coming out on Queen of Pain in the top lane here, currently pushing that out.
I think they want
There's-
Krilly. They'll turn that up. Really, really aggressive to go in though, even with kind of friends nearby.
Definitely want Krully, but they decide on Eric's Loco instead. Currently easier target to go on here. Even though the Hand of God comes out, now Krully roared up. Not a lot of health. Frigolay though is there though. Does get lifted up into the air. Do they have enough though? Not with the BKB as well as the Glimmer Cape. No detection as well to actually finish him off. Now he turns around. Gets Chop in here with the Sonic Wave. Getting the Nyx Assassin there at the edge of it. Making a 1-for-1 trade at the end. Offlaner for offlaner. Quite even
Alright,
here.
so I'm actually gonna go out on a limb here and say that I think Lemondogs is in the stronger position at this point. I guess that's really not that much of a limb because they've been winning a lot of fights recently.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think a lot is gonna come down to this next Roshan attempt. But I feel like in general, Yellow Submarine didn't press the advantage strongly enough when they had it. That kind of took bad fights at that time, let Lemondogs really come back into the game. And now they're still kind of being really over-aggressive. I really think they need to be killing Frigolay at the start of these fights. Like, I can't believe they're letting him live every single time.
I mean, they had the right idea here, in getting Yules on top of him before the disruption can come off, but he did get the Glimmer Cape off, which at this point, if you have no detection, kind of just as good, and then the BKB on top of that as well. Oh, hello. Queen of Pain. Hello. That's an unstoppable streak, actually going to wave to Lina,
Ooh,
so...
and actually,
not over
that's
yet.
80 seconds. And isn't Roshan about to come up in like 30? They might be able to get a
Yes,
Roshan.
yeah, oh, there's a hookshot here. Can we look at the fight recap as we see PSM actually caught out? He dropped on fresh wood. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, he actually might get out here with the 4-staff and a nice tornado coming in from the other side of the cliff. Oh, Krilley though wants to re-engage, but so does Yes. So I'm actually not quite sure how they can even take these trades with not the whole team there. Dale also lagging behind a little bit, and I don't know. Very chancy, very aggressive plays here from Yes, as you said. I mean, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Invoker's finally bought some armor too. I'm so happy about that.
Nice,
I think he's going for Shivas.
Yeah, after the 4-staff now, definitely a good one to go, but it's also, even if you have all the items that you want, you're still gonna have to take the fights a little bit more smartly, I would say. I mean, LD's playing the position game very well though. Just keep that in mind. They always have Krilley right there at the front. They always have Frigolay in range for that save. So they've been doing that consistently, and that's what's ended up winning them the fights. And yes, it's as you said, they are a little bit too aggressive here, going in a little bit too early, a little bit too aggressively exactly into these kind of situations that Lemondogs want them to have. But this time around though, they do get the Roshan quickly enough. Now Sunstrike comes out, only scouting a little bit, and actually Fervian being forced out forward for a little bit of a roar. Maybe he can get it off. Dale actually hexed up. Oh, nice Sonic Wave. Nice cards as well. Getting to, he gets the roar off. But what cost here? Barish comes in from the side. Hookshot from Ares Loco used for that. And now, yes, in a terrible spot here. Not a lot of damage dealt. And yeah, Beastmaster first one to fall. Nyx Assassin has to run. Mystic Flag comes out. Almost gets Death Star, but almost is not something that can buy something with it. DSM will die himself. Everyone's still alive and kicking, looking for more on the side of LD. And even though they got the Roche, they have the Chiefs and the Aegis, they retain those, but the momentum squarely in favor of LD after that fight.
Ares Loco, man, firmly telling people they're crazy for walking in like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just BKB Cogs. What are you gonna do about that? I mean, are you gonna burn your Beastmaster ultimate on the BKB Clockwork? No, of course not. But then the easy blow up right there. I mean, you could see that Friggin basically did nothing for that entire fight. Obviously, you got a very, very easy blow up on 2 heroes.
Dyer's mid
And then
could use a little
from that
help.
point, Yes is fighting at such a
Radiant's
disadvantage
top
because they didn't
tower's
really
in
burn
bad
that much
shape.
on that.
And it's off.
This could be Rax.
You're burning here. They might
Dyer's
find the
mid tower
fiery
is
Lina.
bad.
BKB come out, just make sure the E-skill survives here. And Vulcan, of course, he can't really do anything at this point either. So that's another one down. Has buyback, might have to use it here if they want to hold on to these Rakton. Miposhka actually now doing quite a good job. And the roar coming from downtown, but the disruption once again from Friggly here. Curly gets a BKB off, still very low on health. Do they have enough though? Not with the Cogs pushing further and back. Dale here, bloodlust, hungering for that kill. 4-star forward even, but does get the stun off barely, but it's still the back turn to that. This is such a weird chase, and now Friggly, at least they get that, and that's actually a gem on the deck. They're duping it out. Yeah, kills from every single side now as Boschka and Barish both join the fight here. Barish after that buyback. They don't find Ares Loco though, and Krilly still survives, so still really good fight for Lemondogs, all things considered. Even though they do lose their supports and they do lose a gem.
So many force staves on Curly right there. I mean, they saved it. What the? Oh, he's dropping all of his items. I was like, what is he doing? Where did all his items go? And I was like, no,
Alright,
he's
let's
just
do
dropping
inventory.
faster.
Let's see what we
He's got
have
almost
here.
6,000 gold. What is he gonna buy next? I mean, is he gonna buy up that entire pipe that I wanted him to buy? Is he gonna buy something maybe just a little more personally tanky because they are focusing him really, really hard?
Hell, he can buy an AC for himself pretty damn soon if he wants
Yeah,
to.
if he wants to. Maybe he's thinking about that. That would be really nice to counteract the Vladdy's aura. That'll be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe Miposhka is actually going for that AC since he's got the summon build going anyway. Maybe he just wants to go for the AC instead of a Shiva's, and it's not like there's a huge amount of. You're not really worried as much about the right clicks, so the slowing aura from the Shiva's maybe not quite as good. Never mind. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Here,
I mean,
just
it's still good against trying to.
Craft, and then he just buys things.
Yeah. I think it's still good up against the Whistlebag, and just to try and slow him down at the very least a little bit. Just make sure that he can't really get on top of someone. And actually, the right clicks are starting to hurt as well with 3 points up into the warp off. You stack up a couple of those stacks. That's 120 bonus damage here only on 3 or on 4. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like you focus a little bit more on getting your hands on a Shiva's when there's like 2 or 3 right clickers on the team instead of just 1. But it's still a good item. I'm not trying to say it's not. It was. I will say it was. Oh yeah. So he is just tanking up. Krilly's going for a heart.
None of these minus armor strats. Just go with things that you see on your health bar. Definitely not a bad item here. It has the flow nut right now. Puts it up to 3,262 health points that you have to chew through with the Bristleback passive, with the Glimmer Caves, with the mech, with the Hand of God, with the Disruption, with everything that LD has to keep him safe. Can even
Radiant's
kill
top
this
tower's
guy.
in bad shape.
Aegis or not.
Let me ask you, DD. Do you think the heart's a better choice than the Scotty in this particular setup? Oh, never mind.
That was a weird hook shot here, straight across the creep wave. But the fight goes on, he E-skills pops the BKB, so does Krilly here. The Laguna Blade comes on as well as the Roar, but he has his back turned to the fight. They still commit on him! And the Beastmaster will be the first one to fall. Miposhka here dropping the meatball, now Disruption once again. Keep him safe a little bit longer. Barish now. And he uses low, does have another set of spells available now. They're gonna try to go for E-skills, but the stun misses, and Krilly just cleaning up. Barish here, the Aegis clean up as well. Miposhka here caught in a little bit of a rough spot. Invis, actually, yeah, they do have the attack here, they do have that center ward, so he's not long for the world either. Throws out the hopeful tornado, but that's a 4-for-nothing trade.
I mean,
LD,
I
they're
drew
doing
it during the fight, but why do you engage right there against a Queen of Pain? They keep doing it, man. every single time they engage, it feels like they're in some terrible, terrible choke point. And they just immediately, you know, E-skill blinks in, Scream of Pain, Sonic Wave. And someone dies and everyone else is at half-life.
Yeah.
And it happens every single fight, and I don't understand why they keep doing it. It's like, you know, constantly engaging, like, up the ramp of doom right around here, that everyone always engages up and dies horribly, you know? You're supposed to learn after the first time. Oh, they get the Hex off on a Dale. This is going to be 5. That's going to be Rex. Easy. No buybacks. They're only going to have the
Might be
Beast Master
game,
for the next
actually.
assassin.
Might be game. They can transition into the top ranks or maybe just straight for the tier 4s. They have the Beast Master here who has another roar, but what is that really going to do for you? And Hookshot being actually blocked by the creep, but BKB comes out, gets him the cogs anyway, thanks to slowdown from Freakily once again, so that'll be a dieback for him. Actually, I think it just respawned only, and it was Dale who bought back, but yeah. Still, more heroes going down, the Rex going down, top Rex most likely as well. Really nearly unstoppable. I say nearly, I mean, you can't actually kill him here, especially if they're going in one by one. He's them hexed up here, forced out. Dale's trying to do what he can, but what can you do as a Nyx assassin all alone at this point?
Them dire buildings are tough as nails for now.
Jeez, I just...
Dire's top towers getting beat
I think
down.
if you have to pick an MVP this game, though, it's got to be Freakily.
Absolutely.
Like, kept them in the game for a good 20 minutes, where it should have just been completely in favor of yes.
Absolutely.
Nothing left of Dire's
I mean, they
top
do get
ranks.
Eris Loca now, but melee Rex fall. They might get some more here, but Krully full health. He has another BKB. He just teleports out. Doesn't want to commit on anything here. Freakily will fall, but... Yes, in a terrible spot here with their base in shadows, and yeah, the siege creeps will be able to finish off the range racks even, so it's two
Dire's
full
top
sets of
ranks
Rex down.
is all to pieces.
And yeah, only the
Yeah, I
tier 2 keeping their bottom racks alive and safe for now.
I don't see Yellow Submarine coming back from this at this point. What a huge turnaround this has been from Lemondogs, though, because Yellow Submarine really... I mean, we were both hugely favoring them at around the 20-minute mark. I mean, we said that Lemondogs had to do so much work to come back from this, and look what they done.
Yeah, they did that. They did exactly that. Being very patient here, always in the right position, and also a little bit helped out by the fact that yes, kept committing to these kind of bad fights. Maybe they felt that they didn't have another choice, but also in the last fight, I mean, you had two BKB targets right there. You had Krully on the Bristleback, and you had E-Skulls and Queen of Pain, and they kept focusing Krully here while he still had the back turned. It's also one of these decisions that I kind of have to question. I mean, sure, he was roared up. He was kind of there. But yeah, he was roared up. He wasn't the big threat in that fight. E-Skills was the big threat and the much easier target to go for there with all your right clicks and everything else that you had.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like what they almost had to do may have been
Oh,
burn the
shot.
hook
Onto
shot.
BSM, he's not long for the world.
No, he's done.
One strike comes out.
Oh, it steps out, but he's gonna die to Shadow Strike and nothing else. Oh, and they dropped a gem off that. I mean,
Oh,
as if this
Dale,
game
help.
aren't enough.
Refresh orb even on E-Skills. Did not quite see that, but yeah. That was his next choice after all the money that they got with that base rate.
Why not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
Not yet,
it's a
but
40-second
it's
cooldown ultimate, but yeah, if you have it twice, it's a 0-second cooldown.
Oh yeah, I mean, having two of those in the same fight, that's, you know,
Yeah.
over 1,000 pure damage, just smacking everybody.
The Gouda Blade? Yeah, funny. I've got
Yeah,
that
right?
in the AoE.
950, you're so cute.
Yeah. Or single target? Yeah, good luck with that. Use that on a bristleback, why don't you?
Yeah, Yellow Submarine obviously feeling like they still want to fight this out. They don't want to give up anytime soon. Maybe they just want to see if they can win a fight. I mean, they still have some incredible pushing
Dire's
potential,
bottom tower's
mostly
getting
thanks to
the
the Invoker.
business.
They can do really good split push with that too. But they have to win a fight. It's just so critical.
We
because
see
otherwise
them
they're
winning a
basically
fight with
die.
these
Oh,
kind of
Furby.
initiations that LD can put out here. Beastmaster probably down for the count here, Coolly with the BKB. Poshka might even be next, see if they manage to lock him down. But oh, E-Skills, yeah, he's going for it here. Thanks for the good blade this time, but Hammer caught and Mac keeping him alive. Now Krully taken over as the front line, and Poshka has to get the hell out of there, but slowed down by the goo as well as the damage over time from Queen of Pain is actually the thing that ends up finishing him off, and now Krully can just focus on the tower. Easily dodges the Light Strike Array. PSM kind of... What does a Scour Mage do up against a Bristleback with that amount of health points? Not a whole lot. That's what, and yeah, Dale also trying to go in here. Mataburn actually doing quite a bit in terms of amount of damage, but yeah, I think this is all over but the crying.
Oh, and now they finally get a breakup on the Lena. Like, after all of this time, they finally have a way to disable the bristleback, and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, a little bit too late, and yeah, the Glimmer Cape in action on that Mystic Flare, mitigating the impact of that completely. Another hookshot. Ares Loco showing off that Agnum Scepter capabilities, and yeah, GG, well played. Yeah, got a hand to Lemondogs. Didn't look like they would be able to take this game so the way Submarine have been playing in the early game, but yeah, talked about it a long time. So yeah, quick thoughts here at the end of this match.
I mean, Frigolite MVP. Wasn't he a stand-in? He was a stand-in. What a hero. But then on top of that, I want to give a huge amount of credit to Ares Loco in how well he managed to play a Clockwork from a deficit. Because I mentioned earlier, it's a very, very difficult spot to be in. He hit some very nice hook shots. He had fantastic power cogs in most of these fights. That was another really, really big reason that Yes had problems fighting, was because they couldn't fight around the cogs he was dropping down. It was just massive.
Alright, but the best news is this was only game 1 of a 2-game series. We're going to have one more match between these two teams coming up next in just a couple of minutes right here, so stay tuned.